NBA preseason starts tonight, and here's the fantasy basketball top 30 players I have going into the season. Number one's James Harden of the Houston Rockets. For now, he's on Houston. We don't know if he's going to get traded. Now he's expanded his trade list to Philadelphia, the Nets, the Milwaukee Bucks. So we'll see, and the Miami Heat. So we'll see where Harden goes. And last year, what a season he put up for fantasy owners. And the stats he put up, 34.3 points a game. He had 6.6 rebounds with 7.5 assists, 44% from the field with 4.4 threes a game, and 1.8 steals. So Harden, it don't matter where he lands up, in my opinion. This guy, he's still going to put up crazy stats, going to be ball dominant with the ball in his hand. This guy, he's probably the best pure scorer in the NBA right now. And this guy, I would still take him in one. Of course, with these stats, even if he lands, say, in a Philly or something with Embiid or whoever, he's still going to put up the numbers and make the big plays and lead your team in a lot of categories and hopefully to a championship. And he also qualifies at point guard and shooting guard. So I got Harden at number one. Number two, the Greek freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. I have him here at number two going into the rankings in the season. He qualifies at power forward and center, and last year he won the MVP again, back-to-back seasons. What a season he had, 29.5 points, 13.6 rebounds with 5.6 assists, 55% field goal from the field, 1.4 threes and a steal. So Giannis, he gives you a little bit of everything. His field goal percentage was amazing at 55%. Obviously, he don't hit that many threes, but he still averaged 1.4. And in most fantasy leagues, in these category leagues, it don't go by field goal percentage for threes. It goes by threes made. And 1.4 a game, not a bad average for Giannis. This guy, he's unstoppable once he gets into the paint. And if this guy gets a jump shot, he'll probably be the best fantasy player going forward. But here I got him in number two. Number three, Anthony Davis. He qualifies at power forward and center, and last year, what a season he had with the Lakers, helping them to the championship. 26.1 points a game, 9.3 boards with 3.2 assists, 50% field goal, 1.2 threes a game, a steal and a half a game, and 2.3 blocks. So Anthony Davis, this guy, he's a six-category monster out of the nine, and this guy, he puts up fantasy points. He's the vocal point over there in LA, and if LeBron James is going to miss the first few weeks to rest himself or whatever the deal is, Davis, those numbers are obviously going to go up to probably 30 points a game and 11 to 12 rebounds a game. So Davis, you can't go wrong with him. These first three guys, honestly, you could go in any order, but this is just the order I prefer, and you see on most websites. The fourth guy is Luka Doncic. What a season he had last year, Doncic. He qualifies at point guard and shooting guard, 28.8 points a game, 9.4 rebounds, 8.8 assists, 46% from the field, 2.8 threes, and a steal a game. So Doncic, he does it all. It wouldn't surprise me to see him average a triple-double this season. And with Kristaps Porzingis out for who knows how long with the Dallas Mavericks, Doncic, these numbers, they're just going to go up. He could even hit the 30-point barrier, I believe, this season for this Dallas Maverick ball club. Said Luka, he qualifies at point guard and shooting guard. He's going to give you a little bit of everything, and he's going to have another monster season here at number four. Number five, Nikola Jokovic. Many people are probably wondering where's Karl Anthony Towns in this list, but the Joker, he lost a lot of weight and he improved in the playoffs last year. This is all regular season stats I'm going by. But anyway, he qualifies at power forward and center. And last year, 19.9 points a game, 9.7 rebounds, 7 assists, 52% from the field, 1.1 threes a game, and 1.2 steals. So the Joker, he gives you a little bit of everything. 7 assists from a power forward and center in fantasy basketball. That's unreal, that number. And that number's high. I think he's better than Karl Anthony Towns. We saw him in the playoffs. He got in better shape. His three-point shooting went up. And last year, he did shoot 52% from the field in the regular season. So Joker, this guy's unstoppable. He's unguardable. And this guy, he still hasn't reached his potential. And I think this year, his points per game goes up big, and I think he could even add to 2 or 3 pointers made a game. So I got him at 5. Number 6, Steph Curry of the Golden State Warriors. It was an injured-riddled season for Curry, and now this season he's out without his splash brother, Klay Thompson, who tore his Achilles. And Curry, he qualifies at point guard and shooting guard. Last season, it was a down year, even in the limited amount of games he played. 20.8 points a game, 5.2 rebounds a game, 6.6 assists, 40% from the field. He still hit 2.4 threes a game and a steal a game. But Steph, he's healthy this year. He had tons of time off, where the Warriors, they didn't even have to play in the bubble. So they had the extra 2 months off, plus is the Warriors. And Curry, he's been in good shape. I've seen the training videos, and this year I think he's going to explode and probably get 27 to 30 points a game on average. I think the 3-pointers will go to 3 or 4 a game made. And this guy, he's definitely 60th for me. Number 7, Dame Lillard of the Portland Trailblazers. This guy, he's had some season last year, but the thing with him, we'll see what he could do this year with Portland. Last year, I don't know if he could top that season, to be honest. 30 points, 4.3 rebounds, 8 assists, 46% from the field, and a whopping 4.1 threes per game made and 1.1 steals. So this guy, he gives you everything across the board. He's not weak at one anything, and this guy, he's back on Portland. They got the same team over there, but I don't know if he could get 30 a game. That's going to be a tough number to match. He only qualifies at point guard, which bumped him just behind Steph because, you know, versatility is big in fantasy basketball. And if you could have guys obviously play multiple positions, it's a plus more than a negative. But you can't go wrong, honestly, with either Dame or Steph. But I just think Steph this year, he's going to go back to old form and MVP type of numbers he's going to put up. So I got Damian Lillard 7. Number 8, Karl Anthony Towns of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Karl Anthony Towns, what a season he had last year. But the thing with him, he only qualifies at center. And over there now, with Anthony Edwards, Ricky Rubio, and D'Angelo Russell now a full season over there in Minnesota, I don't think the ball's going to be in his hands as much. His numbers are still going to be great. Last year, he had 26.5 points a game, 10.8 rebounds, 4.4 assists, 50% from the field, with 3.3 threes made and a steal a game. So Towns, monster numbers he put up. But like I said, I think his points and assists are going to drop with Rubio and Russell there now a full season. But he's a guy you can't go wrong with. But I just like Anthony Davis and Nikola Jokovic as bigs over him in this draft. So I got him at 8. Number 9, Trae Young of the Atlanta Hawks. This guy, he's an absolute machine at scoring, is Trae Young. And this year, his Atlanta Hawk team, they beefed up that roster big time with Danilo Gallinari, Bogdan Bogdanovic, and Rajon Rondo. So these guys, they're stacked. They got a good team. And Trae Young last year, 29.6 points a game, 4.3 boards, 9.3 assists, 43% from the field, 3.4 threes a game, and 1.1 steals. So this guy, he had big numbers across the board. I would like to see the field goal percentage go up. I think it will. The assists probably will go up with better teammates around him this year. I think he could reach 10 assists, and even the rebounds, I think he could get 5.5 a game. The 29.6, I think that might drop to 26 or 27 a game with Gallinari and Bogdanovic there. But Trae Young, this guy, he gives it his all each and every game. And this guy, he's an elite scorer and passer for fantasy basketball, and you can't go wrong with him here in the 9th spot. And he only qualifies at point guard, though. Number 10, Jason Tatum of the Boston Celtics. It was a toss-up between him and LeBron James for me in this spot. But the thing is, LeBron James, I don't know how many games he's going to miss this season to start the year after it was only 70 days, in between the finals and the first game of the season. But anyway, Tatum last year, a great season, and he got his max contract this offseason, and his play in the playoffs even evaluated his status even more. Last year, regular season, 23.4 points a game, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 45% from the field, 2.9 threes a game, and 1.4 steals. So Tatum, he gives it all he's got over there in every stat category. I would just like to see the assists go up. I think this season his points and rebounds will go up because Gordon Hayward's not over there anymore. So that's going to be a few more possessions and shot attempts for Jason Tatum. And this guy, he's an up-and-coming star in this league, and that's why he got paid the big bucks. So Tatum, he's going to be a stud, and I got him at 10 here. Number 11, now we got LeBron James. He qualifies at point guard, shooting guard, small forward. Is LeBron. The Lakers, they improved this offseason, and I think LeBron, he's going to have some load management this season, and especially in the beginning of the year. I think LeBron, he's only going to play 2 or 3 games a week the first few weeks of the season until he gets his legs under him again. Because the Lakers, they did win the championship. It was a long road with the on and off and in the bubble. But now the season's starting here in 11 days for LeBron and the Lakers. I don't think he's going to play every game early on. But last year, what a regular season it was. And arguably, he could have won the MVP. He had 25.3 points a game, 7.8 rebounds, 10 assists a game, 49% from the field. He even had 2.2 threes made, and 1.2 steals per game was LeBron James. So LeBron, he's a stud. I don't know if this guy's ever going to slow down. The only thing with me is I don't know how many games he's going to play here in the regular season. Number 12, Russell Westbrook, the newly acquired point guard for the Washington Wizards. The blockbuster deal we've heard rumored all offseason finally went down last week. Westbrook for John Wall. And Westbrook, this is a great landing spot, in my opinion, for him and his fantasy value. That's why I got him at 12 here. I think Russell Westbrook with the Wizards, he could average a triple-double. And even last year on a team with James Harden, who was ball-dominant, he averaged 27.2 points a game, 7.9 rebounds, 7 assists, 47% from the field, with a 1 3-pointer made and a steal and a half a game. So Westbrook, he's going to hurt you in turnovers and 3-pointers made. He's just not going to hit many. But now over there in Washington, the ball's going to be in his hands. You don't have 2 crazy ball-dominant guards. Beal, he's more of an off guard than James Harden, obviously. And I think Westbrook, those numbers are going to bump up to about 28 to 30 points a game, 10 rebounds a game, and 10 or 11 assists, a triple-double Westbrook. He might be back this season, and he's a guy, I think you got to take him in the first round, and that's why I ranked him over here at number 12. Number 13, Kawhi Leonard of the Los Angeles Clippers. Leonard, he qualifies as a shooting guard and small forward, and last year he had a great season, but he's another guy. What's the deal going to be with his load management, and how many games is he going to play? This year it's a 72-game season, so it's a 9 games shorter than usual. But Kawhi Leonard, who knows? Is he going to have load management, or is Tyronn Lue actually going to be hard on these guys after they fired Doc Rivers and they got embarrassed blowing a 3-1 lead? But anyway, Kawhi Leonard, 27.1 points a game, 7.4 boards a game, 5 assists a game, 47% from the field, 2.2 threes a game, and 1.8 steals a game. This guy, he put obviously up top 5 numbers last season, but like I said, I don't know how much he's going to play. Is he going to be there in big games where you need to win weeks or a playoff matchup? Who knows? So I don't know about Kawhi Leonard in the first round, but he's definitely a second-round guy, and I think ranking him here at 13 is a pretty safe number. Number 14 is Kevin Durant of the Brooklyn Nets. Durant, he didn't play now for last season at all after tearing the Achilles in the finals versus the Toronto Raptors. But Durant, I don't think he'll be affected that much, honestly. Durant, he could get 25, 30 points a game still. He was more of a shooter than a driver to the hoop anyway, even though he could do it all together. So Durant, I think taking him here in the second round, it's a safe way to go. He might have some load management problems as well, but he had tons of extra time to heal that Achilles over the last few months now with the pandemic and everything. So Kevin Durant, you take him at 14. If you want to take him early in drafts and get him in the first round, you could do that. But I think second round's realistic for Durant, because we don't know if he lost a step or not. No one's seen him in a long time, and we'll see if he even plays preseason games. But with Steve Nash as the head coach of the Brooklyn Nets, I think they're going to do a run and gun offense, and also with D'Antoni as an assistant over there. But Kevin Durant, I got him at 14. Number 15 Devin Booker, the Phoenix Suns, he played lights out last season once the NBA resumed in the bubble, and he went off ballistic with a couple 50-point games. And last year, he had a crazy season as well in fantasy, 26.6 points a game, 4.2 rebounds, 6.5 assists, 48% from the field. He hit 2 threes a game with .7 steals. Now Chris Paul's in town. Ricky Rubio's gone, but Chris Paul, he knows how to set up guys. He's a veteran. And Booker, I think his stats could go up even more after we saw him take over the bubble in those final 8 regular season games. He qualifies at shooting guard and small forward, so that's good versatility there also in fantasy. And Booker, I think this is going to be an even huger season for him than last, with Chris Paul facilitating that offense, even though Ricky Rubio is good, but Chris Paul's an obvious upgrade. Number 16, Bradley Beal of the Washington Wizards. What a season he had last year. I think his points are going to go down a little now with Russell Westbrook manning the point guard position and in town over there in Washington. Beal, he qualifies at shooting guard and small forward. Last season, he was definitely an all-star snub. This guy averaged 30.5 points a game, 4.2 rebounds, 6.1 assists, 45% from the field, 3 threes a game, and 1.2 steals. So him and Westbrook, they're going to be a two-man team. Both these guys, they're going to take a million shots, I believe, a game, and they're going to run and gun these guys. The Wizards, they're a sleeper team, in my opinion, here in the Eastern Conference. And Bradley Beal, he's going to play even harder, I think, after getting snubbed from the All-Star team, and he's ready to compete. I just think his points per game are going to go down and his assists. But this guy, he's a guy you can't go wrong with here in the second round of fantasy drafts, and I got him ranked at 16. Number 17, Jimmy Buckets, Jimmy Butler of the Miami Heat. This guy, he does it all. His game went to the next level, leading the Miami Heat to the finals, even though they fell short to the Los Angeles Lakers. But Butler, he qualifies at small forward and power forward. Last season, 19.9 points a game, 6.7 rebounds, 6 assists, 45% field goal, only 0.5 threes made a game, but 1.8 steals. So if this guy could improve 3-point shots made per game to like 1 to 1.5, that would be good. But he gives you a little bit of everything. He's a guy you definitely can't go wrong with in the second round. And this guy's a gamer. He's a warrior. This guy, he does it all by himself, and he went to Miami when no one else would in that last offseason. And now if they could land the James Harden or Giannis somehow, his numbers will go up even more, I believe, with teams paying attention to those guys. But Jimmy Butler, he's a solid veteran, he's a good ball player, and he's going to help you in many categories. So I got him ranked 17. Number 18, Joel Embiid of the Philadelphia 76ers. This guy, he's an absolute beast, no doubt about it, but his problem's always been staying healthy, and this year I got him ranked at 18th. These other guys are more healthier than Embiid, but last year he had a great season. He qualifies at power forward and center, which is great versatility for a big man like him, and he had 23 points, 11.6 rebounds a game, 3 assists, 47% from the field, and he even added a 1.1 from the three-point line. But the thing with him is those other guys like Towns, Anthony Davis, and the Joker, they do a little more in passing and they hit more threes than Joel Embiid. Embiid, the injuries, we know it's been there. This year, in a new system, it's going to be with Doc Rivers running the helm in Philly, and they're going to change the system up, so we'll see how they run it there. But Embiid at number 18, I think it's a solid slot, and he's a guy either way, wherever you want to rank him. He's a guy I'm targeting in second rounds of drafts. Number 19, Donovan Mitchell of the Utah Jazz. Last year, Mitchell in the playoffs, him and Jamal Murray had a crazy series in the first round of the playoffs where these guys were going bucket for bucket, having 50-plus point games. And now he got his big max contract a few weeks ago, and he's the man over there in Utah. And last year he had a good season, was Mitchell. 24 points a game, 4.4 rebounds, 4.3 assists, 44% from the field, and 1 3 a game. I just would like to see his assists go up, which I think they can, and his three-point shooting improved a lot in the bubble. So now Donovan Mitchell, he got his contract, the trade rumblings are done, and I think he's going to take the next step, and his numbers, I think, could bump up to 26 a game, 6 or 7 assists possibly, and bumping his 3 points made from 1.5 1 to 1.5 to 2 threes made per game. So Mitchell, I got at 19. Number 20, Ben Simmons of the Philadelphia 76ers. Simmons this year, he says he's improving on his jump shot and practicing and getting better. And if this guy could get a jump shot, man, lights out. He's going to be in fantasy. And this guy, he only qualifies this season as a point guard, but that's okay. Last season, 16.4 points a game, 7.8 rebounds, 8 assists a game, 58% from the field. He didn't hit a 3 a game, and 2.1 steals. So Ben Simmons, he does it all. I would like to see the points go up, and obviously if he could start hitting threes and free throws. But this guy, he's going to help you in a lot of categories. That 58% shooting was amazing last season, and he's a guy I'm hoping he takes the next step and breaks out, where he's going to be a top 10 player the rest of the way. I think under Doc Rivers' coaching and mentor him, he's going to be a beast this season, is Ben Simmons, and he's going to have a great fantasy season. But for now, he's a guy I'm going to target in the early to late second rounds, and I got him ranked here at 20. Number 21, Paul George of the Los Angeles Clippers. He just got paid a boatload of money, signing a 5-year, $226 million extension, is George. And George, he got a lot of scrutiny last season, not performing well in the playoffs in the big games. He had some big games in the playoffs, which people forget, but when the games were on the line, big game 6s or 7s, he just didn't get the job done, is George. But now I think he's healthy. He was going through some things as well last season where he wasn't all the way there. He qualifies at small forward and power forward during the regular season, which was limited for him last year with the shoulder injury and stuff. He had 21.5 points a game, 5.7 rebounds, 3.9 assists, 43%, 3.3 threes a game, which is a huge number, and 1.4 steals a game. So Paul George, I think he has something to prove. Doc Rivers is out of town. Supposedly he couldn't get a handle on these guys, and the team, they had turmoil. So now Doc's out of town, Harrell's out of town as well, and Tyronn Lue is running the ship over there in Los Angeles. So we'll see if Paul George will get back to putting up elite numbers and prove the doubt is wrong. Obviously, the Clippers have a lot of confidence in George to give him a big contract like they did right before the season. So Paul George, we'll see if he could bounce back. And he's a guy, I always like having him on my team. Just the only thing with him, he seems to miss a lot of ball games as well, with injuries nagging on and off during the season. But Paul George, I got to 21. Number 22, Kyrie Irving. This guy, I said to avoid him in fantasy drafts, but this guy, he obviously is a great talent. So yeah, I said avoid him. If you didn't see that video, go check it out. Players to avoid going into fantasy basketball drafts. But anyway, Irving, will this guy ever play a full season? Most likely not. Already Steve Nash said that he don't expect Irving to play a full season, and he's not even injured yet. And Kyrie, he only qualifies at point guard. Last season, a huge numbers he put up in the limited amount of games he played, 27.4 points a game, 5.2 rebounds a game, 6.4 assists, 47% from the field, 2.8 threes a game, and a steal and a half a game. So Kyrie Irving, the points were there, the numbers were there, but he just wasn't there all the way. This guy, he would take games off, then he quit on his team, didn't show up to the bubble, and now this year with Kevin Durant, he's going to take it more seriously. They're going to compete for a championship as the Nets. And Kyrie, though, he's going to have great numbers, but his points per game are definitely going to drop with Durant there. His assists might go up. His three-point shot, he's still going to put it up tons of times. But this is a guy, I just can't trust him. And I said to avoid him because of the injuries. And to me, it feels like he only plays when he wants to, is Kyrie Irving. But you got to still rank him as a top guy in the top 30. And he's number 22 here. Number 23, Deandre Ayton of the Phoenix Suns. This guy, he was a monster last season, is Ayton. Man, imagine if he could get a three-point shot as well as this guy. But last season, 8.2 points a game, 11.5 rebounds a game with 2 assists a game and 54% from the field. So this guy's a double-double machine. He's a true center. He only qualifies at center in fantasy basketball. And this guy, he's going to have a great season again. And now with Chris Paul at point guard there, he's going to have a better point guard. I know Ricky Rubio is a great distributor and passer, but come on, Chris Paul's better than him Ayton, I think his numbers could go up even more over there in Phoenix. And Phoenix, they got rid of Kelly Oubre as well, so he was averaging about 19 a game. So Paul's there. Ayton, another year under his belt, and I think he's going to have a good season as Ayton. And he's a safe guy to draft within the first 3 rounds. Fourth guy, Jamal Murray of the Denver Nuggets. What a playoffs he had, Murray, and his game went to the next level for sure. He qualifies at point guard and shooting guard. And Murray, in the regular season last year, 18.5 points a game, 4 rebounds, 4.8 assists a game, 45% from the field, with 1.9 threes made, and a steal a game. So Jamal Murray, those numbers, they're going to skyrocket. I think this guy, he's going to get close to 25 points a game. I think he's going to add to the 3-pointers with 2.5 a game. And his field goal will be about the same, because this guy in the playoffs, he took his game to the next level. He made amazing plays. He never gave up. His team was down 3-1 to the Clippers, and he willed them way back. And then him and Donovan Mitchell in the first round of the playoffs, these guys had a duel, dropping 50 on each other. So Murray, he hit stardom. This guy's a beast, and he's a guy I definitely want on my team this season, because he's a guy, he plays tough, and he don't want to take any games off like some superstars in the league today. So he's a guy, he's going to be valuable, and he's a guy you could count on in your fantasy league and on your fantasy team. So I got Murray at 24. Number 25, Bam Adebayo of the Miami Heat. Talk about another guy who just landed a huge contract last week is Bam. And Bam deserves it. This guy, he plays with heart. He never gave up. And that's just the culture over there with Eric Spoelstra and that Miami Heat organization ran by Pat Riley. And Bam, what a season he had last year. 16 points a game, 10.2 boards, 5.1 assists, 55% from the field. He didn't have a 3 a game, and 1.1 steals. He qualifies at power forward and center. And this guy, he does it all. He gives you a little bit of everything, is Bam, with the rebounding, obviously the scoring, the assists, and the field goal percentage. So he's going to help you in a lot of categories. He's a guy, it's not all about flash with him. He's a guy that gets to the hoop. He gets alley-oops, a lot of cleanups and putbacks. And he's a guy that's going to be good on fantasy teams. And hopefully he could stay healthy, because he was banged up in the playoffs. And he missed a couple games over there in the finals. But Bam Adebayo, I think he's going to be good to go. He got paid. And now him and this Heat team, they want to make a statement this year. And I think he has a great year. The next guy's Ja Morant of the Memphis Grizzlies. What a rookie season for the Rookie of the Year last season is Morant. He qualifies at point guard. Last season, 17.8 points a game, 3.9 rebounds, 7.3 assists, 47% from the field, with 0.9 threes per game, and he had 1 steal a game. So Ja Morant, it would be nice to see him develop an outside shot, because that'll just add to his scoring and his field goal percentage if he could develop a 3-point shot and maybe bump that number up to 1.5 to 2 threes made per game. Because Ja Morant, he's a great talent. This is a guy that he's tough to cover, and he's a guy that could get to the hoop at will. His assists could even go up more, I think. 7.3 was a good starting point. And this is a guy, if he just gets a jump shot, he's going to be better, where his points per game would go up also from 17.8 to 20 to 22 per game. So Ja Morant, I think he's a safe get here in the second round, and I don't see a sophomore slump for him. He's going to get better. They had time off more on these teams with the extended offseason if they didn't make the playoffs last year. So Ja Morant, he's going to be good, man, and he's a guy I'm going to target here at 26. So that's mid-second round, early third. The next guy here is Zion Williamson of the New Orleans Pelicans. He only qualifies at power forward, and Zion, this guy's a freak of nature, but the thing with him is the weight problems and his conditioning, and obviously the injuries. Already he has a bulky knee, and the guy's only 20 years old. With all that explosiveness, we've seen that same type of injury ruin Blake Griffin a little over the years until he developed a jump shot, and he couldn't just be a high flyer. So Zion last year, in his rookie season, where he missed most of the season with the knee injury, 22.5 points a game, 6.3 boards, 2.1 assists, 58% from the field, only 0.3 threes a game with a 0.7 steals. So Zion, He's got to improve his shooting. The field goal percentage was great. And this guy, he could score 20 points a game just bullying his way in the paint. So if this guy gets an outside shot, he's going to be a monster for the Pelicans and in fantasy basketball. And the health is the issue with him. If he could stay healthy and play better, I wouldn't have him ranked 27th. He'd probably be a top 10 to 15th guy coming into the season in drafts. But I think 27 is a good number for Zion. Number 28 is his teammate of the New Orleans Pelicans, Brandon Ingram. Ingram, he's another guy that just landed a huge deal with the max contract. He qualifies at small forward and power forward. And this guy, he just improves as the year goes on. The Lakers traded him in the Anthony Davis deal. And last year, in his first season with the Pelicans, 23.8 points a game, 6.1 boards, 4.2 assists, 46% from the field, 2.4 threes a game, and 1 steal a game. So Brandon Ingram, he did a little bit of everything. He's just going to get better as the seasons and the years go on. And this is a guy coming out of college that compared to Kevin Durant, and now we're starting to see the numbers and the gameplay be a little similar to Durant. And this season, let's see if he could take the next step, this guy. And for this Pelican team to have Zion, Ingram, and now they traded for Steven Adams, and they got Lonzo Ball there. This team could be loaded. They could be a fantasy factory over there this season. And this is a team they're going to run and gun, I think so. Brandon Ingram, sky's the limit for him, and he's a guy I'm going to target late second round, early third this season. I think his numbers are just going to go up from here. Number 29, Collins of the Atlanta Hawks. What a breakout season it was for Collins last year. He qualifies at power forward and center, 21.6 points a game, 10 boards, 1.5 assists, 58% from the field, 1.4 threes a game, and 0.8 steals. So John Collins, this guy's a freak of nature. He's a good ball player. Last year, I know he got caught on PED, so he missed 20 games suspended. But this guy, I think his numbers are going to fall a little with the Lino Gallinari and Bogdanovich over there, and also Rajon Rondo. The playing time, it's going to go around. Plus, Clint Capella is going to be healthy and the starting center in Atlanta. So Collins, I think his points are going to drop from like 21 to 18 a game, and his rebounds from 10 to 8 with Capella back. But this guy, he's a guy you can't go wrong with getting here in the second round to early third is John Collins. He's got a shot. He hit 1.4 threes, which is good. The 58% from the field, I don't know if he could keep it up, but this is a guy who's a tough cover and a tough matchup, but just with a lot of mouths to feed in Atlanta, I think his numbers are going to drop a little. Not much, but they'll drop. And the 30th and final guy I'm ranking here in the top 30 for fantasy basketball is Pascal Siakam of the Toronto Raptors. He qualifies at power forward and center, and last season 22.9 points a game, 7.3 rebounds, 3.5 assists a game, 45% from the field with 2.2 threes a game, and a steal a game. So Siakam, he helps you in every category. He does a little bit of everything, and if he could even improve his three-point shooting a little more, his points per game is going to bump up to 24 or 25. And Toronto, he's going to be the man over there now. Fred VanVleet, I know's back. Kyle Lowry, he's going to take a back step a little. But Siakam, he's got a lot of value as well that he qualifies at center. To have a center put up those numbers and also to qualify a power forward, that's pretty good. And Siakam, he's a guy I like. He's a guy I'm definitely going to target in the top 30. And he's a guy teams might overlook, and he might even fall in your fantasy drafts. So we'll see what happens with that. So that's the top 30 fantasy basketball players I'm ranking heading into the preseason and the season.